Hi, welcome back to Temple Emmanuel in Orange Village. We hope that your beginning of 5777 is going extraordinarily well, as fall has finally come to Northeast Ohio and in fact most of North America. We are, for the Shabbat of October 29th, getting ready with our study of the first Torah portion, Bereshit. Bereshit bara, in the beginning of God's creating the heaven and the earth. Now, most folks who take religion casually think of, well, the Bible tells this story of God creating the world in 6 days and then God taking a little rest on the seventh day, which we call Shabbat. And that's about it. We don't think much more about it. Next thing we think about is Adam and Eve getting tossed out of the Garden of Eden, out of Gan Eden, and then the second Torah portion, Noah, with humanity already starting to get itself into trouble. But we make a mistake. We make a mistake by not reading the first chapters of Genesis very, very carefully. In fact, the first and second chapters tell somewhat different stories of creation. One story of creation has to do with putting human beings at the end as a kind of capstone to creation, something that is in the image of God. And the second story starts out with human beings and then has the whole world, the universe, in fact, being created for us. But if we read through the first chapters of the book of Genesis carefully, what we can discern there is that the story includes little elements, little snippets about the development of humankind. We're told that one person learned how to use fire, and another person learned how to hunt, and another person learned how to use metalwork. And so the technology that we have is starting to develop. And of course, in the second Torah portion, that story of technological development and the question of whether it's used for good or evil comes to a roaring crescendo in the story of the Tower of Babel. But if we go back to the beginning, where God tells the human beings, the first human beings, male and female, be fruitful and multiply. And then God continues by saying, kivshu et haaretz, and conquer the earth, take control of the earth, command the earth, if you will. If we go back and focus at that and look at all these little details of the story, we see that really from the beginning of Genesis, we are invited to participate with God in the continuation and, in fact, in the perfection of creation. Our tradition understands that God begins creation of this world, but God doesn't finish it. The finishing touches, the perfection, the polishing, the fine-tuning, all of that is left to us. And that's what we call our partnership with God. And so I hope that this year you will take this new beginning of Bereshit as an invitation to partner with God, whether you consider that to be partnership in social action, whether partnership in studying Torah, partnership in tefillot, in prayer, or in any other aspect of Jewish and social life. Understand that we have at the beginning of Genesis not just the story of creation, but hazmanah, an invitation to participate in it, not just at the beginning of the year, but throughout the year until next Rosh Hashanah. Shabbat Shalom.